say to us that is exactly the context in which Christian faith finds itself today. Which is why I have great confidence, because we think as a church sometimes we're in a whole new world. And God says, guess what? Just open the text, read what it says 2,000 years ago. You didn't set the ethical rules then, and you don't now. People didn't understand the language then, so you changed it, so they did. And in a culture that was moving incredibly slowly, the church moved at the speed of light. The problem now is that our culture is moving at the speed of light, and the church is moving at the speed of a constipated snail. And that's what we need to change. Because if we are to have a future, we must never take one iota from the unchanging truth of the good news of Christ. But we have to show this is making a difference. And, if I were to say anything to you about, what would you like us to do? I think I would say it would be wonderful if every Christian in every church in this island gave up one thing in their church and took on one thing in the community. So that actually we were seen, in Jesus' terms, to be salt in the middle of the tasteless dinner. To be light in the darkness, to be seen that actually we're the first people to get our hands dirty at the refuge or anything else like that. But when Ken Sivray wants a mountain of people to sell the books for guide dogs for the blind, actually Christians are there because this is a good thing. That we are seen to be transformed and transforming. I'm a bit of a fan of Freedom Church, I have to say. It's lovely to go and preach there too. And I think one of the great things they do is that free Christmas wrapping in the square. I'm a great fan of St Thomas's and Nick France. And they have done more, it seems to me, than any other organisation to make sure that people from other places, particularly Madeira and Poland, feel made to be at home in our island. And it is that transforming Christian faith that I think makes a difference. Now, in Athens, Paul sees that the culture is, literally the Greek says, submerged in idols. And against that background, he unashamedly preaches Jesus and the resurrection. But St Luke uses different Greek words to explain what he does. So he talks about St Paul gossiping. He talks about St Paul lecturing. He talks about St Paul reasoning with the philosophers. In other words, it wasn't one size fits all. I spent most of my working life in Oxford and with all the academics, and one friend said to me, "But why do you like working there? They're all nuts." I said, "No, and anyway, if they are, they're my nuts, and I love them." And I miss that greatly, actually. But it's important that Christian faith, whether it walks in to one of the great finance centres in this island, or one of the great academic centres in Oxford, has something to say rationally and relevantly, and transformed lives of those who say it so that people take notice. All right? I mean, if I was, perhaps you think I am, but if I was the most unfriendly dean in history and started talking about how God loves us, who on earth would believe it? Your life speaks so loudly, I think this is Billy Graham, I can't hear what you're saying. So the church in the marketplace, we have to make a difference. And none of this is new. Who founded Barclays so there should be finance with ethics? A Christian. Who founded Cadbury's and Rowntree's so that there should be factories and places for employees to live that were good and green and different? Christians. This is not new, but it does mean we have to transform our society. And we do that because God has transformed us. If we're those simply who've had a spiritual experience of God but don't enter society, we've missed it. If we try and enter society without a transforming experience of God, then we've got nothing to take. But when we put those things together, then it seems to me that the church, Paul, has a future. Thanks for listening.